Sabrina, how's it going?
Good, Jane. How are you doing?
I'm excellent. Thanks for agreeing to
Good.
do this.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
I just want to do a quick, short interview. I heard from, the Gotcha Covered folks that you are just killing it. And so I said, oh, cool. Can I interview her? So that's how I came to you. And I wanted to just ask you a couple of questions because I think people are always curious. Tell us a little bit about your background. What were you doing?
Sure, I'm happy to. Yeah, I've actually spent the last, call it 22 years in healthcare, actually. A lot of that was in corporate executive roles. I did own my own business years ago. I owned a healthcare business. However, for the past 15 years, I was in corporate America. I actually left in September last year.
And like, what was going on in your mind that, you know, caused you to even consider taking the leap into franchise ownership? What was the thought process and what was going on? What was your pain point?
You know, Jane, I had been thinking about it for a long time, and sometimes things happen in business that give you that little shove that you need. So when I got that little shove that I needed, I was like, there's not one single corporation that I want to interview with. I don't want to look at the job description. I don't want to look at anything. So I actually was like, I want to get back into business ownership. However, I did not want to do it from the ground up like I did it last time. I wanted something that came with a playbook. I call it a plug and play model, something that I knew I could just start with those tools at my fingertips and turn into a success.
Nice. And you certainly have, apparently. We'll talk about that in a little bit. What is a typical day like for you now? Now that you're running your own schedule, I know today you were taking your daughter to the airport, or that was yesterday, I guess, and, being able to manage your time. What does a typical day look like, though?
You're right. It was actually my niece that I was taking to the airport, but I don't have a daughter. However, a typical day for me, it's so life-changing to have done this. Like I could never squeeze an exercise before. I was literally on conference calls at 6 a.m. a lot of times because I had the whole country. Now I make that time for myself. I'm more healthy, I'm more active. And then around like 9 a.m., I'm kind of organizing my day, getting things started, and then I'm off, off and running, seeing clients, doing appointments. And it's fun. Like we're designing things and we're picking out things together and we're creating like a beautiful space. They're happy people. This is something exciting that they're doing. It's just a whole different mindset and energy for me now. I'm just in a really good place.
Yeah, there's something to be said for a business where people are, so happy to see you. It's not
Yep.
restoration, right? They're not in
Mhm.
crisis. They're happy to see you, and the results are like, I'm sure at the end they're like, "Oh my God, I love it. Thank you so much." So
Right.
that's
Exactly. Yeah.
rewarding. Um, let's see. Then I wanted to ask you, when you were looking at franchises, did you look at other concepts at all?
I mean, I did. I really wanted to look in the home improvement space. It's something I've always been passionate about. I've done a lot of that kind of as a hobby on the side, just kind of really into design and, looking at interiors and making them more beautiful. So I guided myself that way. I did look at a few other, I love animals too. So I looked at some pet companies. I knew I did not want to do anything with healthcare anymore. I needed a new journey in my life. So I really focused on the home improvement spaces. And this one, for lots of different reasons, just ended up being the right fit for me.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that's lovely about franchises is you get to completely reinvent in a completely different industry. You're not supposed to be an expert. They don't want people that are experts. They want to teach you their way. So it
Yep.
does allow you to completely go into something new, and it's so exciting and empowering to do that and learn
Sure
something
is.
new. Exciting.
Yep.
Um,
Good for your brain, good for your
Scary.
well-being, all of it. Yep.
Scary, I'm sure, at times. Um, all right. And so, how's it going? Tell us about how's it going. What was the biggest surprise, if there was one, about owning, this kind of a business?
Yeah, it's going really well. I'm really happy with the last few months. I've surpassed the personal goals I set for myself, which is great. But the thing that was surprising is, because I chose a custom window treatment franchise, the thing that was surprising is just how much there was to learn. Like, who knew there were so many things to learn? But, you get the education that you need, you get the support that you need, and I hit the ground running, and it's been a success. So I'm
And
still learning. I mean, I think people need to understand you're going to keep learning. I learn something new every month, but that's great, right?
and one thing I am curious about in this model, do you have any employees or are these 1099 people that you bring in as needed to do the installs?
Yeah, I have the flexibility to make that decision if I want employees or I just want to work with myself. Right now, it's just me. I own the business. I'm doing the work that's important, like the design and the project management. Everything else I'm outsourcing. So I'm 1099ing my installers. I also use different companies for accounting, record keeping, things like that, sales tax filing. But I wanted to focus on what I was good at, and I'm good at meeting with customers, I'm good at designing, and I'm good at overseeing everything so it goes smoothly.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
And what's next? How are you going to scale this? What's going on in what do you see yourself doing a year from now different?
Yeah, I think the most important thing for me is eventually bringing on some sales reps. Those would not be good employees to 1099. There's a lot of growth. I'm in the Bay Area. There's a lot of growth to be had, so expansion is definitely on the horizon. I haven't quite decided if I'm going to just expand that sales in the territory that I actually have now, or if I'm going to add additional territory. I would say probably both. So those are the goals that I'm setting for myself, a year from now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, very good. Well, it sounds like you're just doing great, and I appreciate your, telling us all about it. And congrats and best of luck
Thank
in the future.
you. I really appreciate it. Thanks, Jane. Great talking to you.
You too.